What's up, everyone? Today we got some Thai food. When I actually just took a bite of the chicken, and this place's chili sauce tastes a little different. It's not your typical Thai food, at least in my opinion. And then this Thai iced tea, it's my guilty pleasure whenever I eat Thai food. It always complements well with the Thai food, whatever you're eating. But yeah, this Thai tea tastes a little different. This place has a little, it tastes unique. It has that little aftertaste. But yeah, this place I went to, I believe it's called Ler's Thai, Lers Thai. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but yeah, we got some fried rice, got some, fried chicken. Yeah, let's do it. Mm-hmm. What I like about it, they give you pretty good portions. Like they give you a lot of fried rice, and the fried rice is pretty solid. Fried chicken, you can't really go wrong with. Man, actually, one day I do definitely want to check out Thailand and explore what they're known for. Right? It's not what you're thinking. It's not the lady boys, but of course the food, right, and the culture. But I heard Thai food is one of the spiciest food in the world, so that might be a little problem on my part. But there's probably always cuisines without hot chilies, right? So let's talk about, I believe Tower of God episode 2 came out earlier this week. And let's catch you guys up on episode 2. So pretty much, okay, we know, so Bam and some other characters are left at a standstill, right? So we learn the name of these characters. So the lizard man calls himself Wraith Razor. Yeah, that's kind of a tongue twister. And he's only out to, face strong opponents, right? And the boy with white hair is named Kun. So initially, and then there's this other person there, but of another race. But that they never mentioned the name, but that race particularly isn't too keen on fighting, and they're fairly peaceful, so that person doesn't really count. But eventually, Kun and Bam get Wrath off the tail. At first, Kun is just making fun of Wrath and saying that, asking Bam, is he your pet, trying to make fun at him. And then Wrath gets into a rage. And initially, my first thoughts on Wrath's character, he's kind of annoying. He's like a meathead, musclehead. He only wants to fight strong opponents, nothing else on his mind. And Kun reveals his true intentions during this quarrel, right? He tells Bam that he wants to find strong allies whom he can team up with to climb to the tower together. And he asks Bam, how did he acquire the Black March for a newbie like you? You don't really seem that strong and, worthy of holding the Black March. And it's revealed that at the top of tower is the king, and Princess Yuri is, royalty, and only a few have climbed up to the top of the tower. And it's also revealed in this episode that Bam actually doesn't really remember his past, and Rachel taught him pretty much all he knew. And they come from a different world, and there's people that live in the tower, and Bam is one of the irregulars who hasn't been living in the tower. And then, so this second part of this test, once there are only 200 people remaining, the announcer announces that you must find 2 other individuals. So there has to be a party of 3 people in total to move on to the next round. But you have to be touching. So So only Wrath, Bam, and Kun are together. So initially, Wrath still wants to fight, and Bam decides to let him fight him, but he drops his Black March, and Kun finds out that Bam is just trying to stall for time, and until the last minute, and get on and touch Wrath at the last minute, and so that happens. Okay. So a lot of more questions are answered in this episode. I thought it was pretty good second episode leading after the first one. Particularly, South Asian cuisine is very delicious as well. Thailand, Singapore, they have fairly kind of similar cuisines. Of course, any surrounding countries or cultures around you, there will be some influence probably, right? And a lot of Singaporean food and Thai food, or a lot of Asian countries have food stalls, right? And I think in Singapore they call it hawker stalls, and they usually have like Thai food has fresh vegetables like cucumber on the side, the fried rice and stuff like that. Man, I would kill to try some of that. I believe is it in Singapore. There's this place that has a Michelin star, but it's super affordable. It's like a hawker stand, I think. And this man serves roast goods, like Chinese roast goods, like char siu, fried rice, and all that type of comfort, delicious food. Oh yes, I can't forget Hainan chicken is one of my favorite comfort food as well. It's just pretty much it's just steamed chicken, pretty plain, and then they serve usually with a side of rice that's been cooked in chicken broth, so it absorbs all that flavor in there. Got that good old hearty chicken, and then usually they serve you a delicious sauce on the side, just pretty much garlic scallions, ginger, yeah, pretty much, and then I think it has a little oil in there too as well. So of the 200, all of the people remaining, there's this test administrator that comes out to everyone. His name is Ler Ros, and he estimates that only about 120 people made it to the next round. So not everyone teamed up with the party so they can move on to the next round. And he is one of the select few that are known as rankers. So individuals that have climbed to the top of the tower. And all these other people trying to excuse me. And the rest of the people who are trying to climb up the tower are called rankers, right? And there's only a few rankers who made it to the top of the tower. There's only very few, and they're incredibly strong. So he explains that there's this concept or power called the Shinsu, which is the source of the tower's power, that everyone can use. And he's trying to cut down a number of the remaining participants here. So he makes a wall of high density Shinsu, and he says to anyone who can pass this Shinsu wall I created, you may pass this part of the test. But there's a catch. Only all of you pass if all 3 of your party members pass the Shinsu wall. But to much of everyone's surprise, Bam was unaffected, and he was on the same side as Ler Ros, while everyone else was pushed back onto the other side of Shinsu. And immediately, Ler Ros was surprised by this, and he says, "Oh, we have a monster over here, so I can't wait." I know Bam doesn't seem like the main character. That doesn't seem quite intimidating yet, but he definitely, everyone he's come across with probably sees a lot of potential in him. He has probably some hidden talent somewhere. But then eventually, we see some characters slowly making through the wall, but as well as some characters struggling to get to the other side. So there's these characters that, like in every series or whatever, you can't help they seem so hopeless, but you just can't help yourself rooting for them. So yeah, there's one of those characters who somehow, he busts his way in through the wall with through pure willpower, nothing else. He may not seem super talented, Ler Ros says you do have to be talented and strong as well, but to climb the tower, you also need incredible luck. So while Ler Ros and Bam are watching people trying to get through the wall, he and them try to pass some time, and they make a bet. So Ler Ros suggested to make a bet on who would decide who will pass the wall first, and they end up choosing the same person. So Ler Ros agrees to answer any of Bam's questions. So among the questions he asks, "What are irregulars?" And immediately he replies, "Irregulars are people normally not that don't apply excuse me. Sorry, irregulars aren't people who follow the rules of the tower." So he says that everyone here you see in this room has actually lived in the tower. So Bam, obviously, he has no recollection of his past, but him and Rachel, I believe, they never lived in the tower. And then, of course, since he's chasing Rachel, right, he asks Ler Ros if he's seen a girl with freckles, and Ler Ros says no. Then we get a little background of, the tower. So there are 3 sections. The outer tower, which is known as the residential district. The inner tower, which is where rankers can climb up the tower. And there's also part of the middle tower where they are currently right now, connecting the two. So, and then also Ler Ros explains that irregulars are generally, whenever the irregulars who are complete anomalies enter the tower, usually they're really strong. And they're usually chosen by Hedon, which, if you remember, he was the caretaker in the first episode. So that's why maybe, Hedon gave him a very hard test since, he's an irregular. Yeah, and then that's pretty much the episode. And then they said at the end, there's another part of this test. Man, there's I don't know how many tests there are, but climbing the tower is no joke. I'm sure you had to meet the certain qualifications, just like anything else. But Tower God's looking promising so far. Then eventually, oh yes, I forgot to mention, Kun and Wrath also passed through the Shinsu wall with ease. So all three of them pass as well. So yeah, we see some, we get introduced to some interesting looking characters. Yeah, and then during this episode, there were two other individuals who were very strong in terms of fighting capability. I can't wait to see them in action more. But yeah, this Thai food was actually pretty good. I recommend. Well, I ordered a pretty basic dish. Excuse me, basic dish, and with fried chicken and some fried rice. But I'm glad to say I fairly enjoyed it. And then the Thai tea there, I really enjoyed the Thai tea. Usually, every time I try Thai tea, they all pretty much taste the same. It's a little over too sweet, but I'm a sucker. I have a sweet tooth. But their Thai iced tea, their aftertaste is a little different. Probably, of course, they use a different type of tea, right? And yeah, that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching. All right, peace.